Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, painting live on December 23rd. And I think I'm live, but I don't know for sure, so we'll just see here for a minute. So it looks like I am. So now let me, I'm doing it, so if you can give me a few minutes, I will get the tablet going. Sorry that we're late. I didn't scroll down far enough on the phone to bring up the YouTube stuff, so hold on. Looks like Courtney messaged me, so hold on. So it looks like Courtney sees it's working, so I guess we're working. I'm going to let her copy in the YouTube link for the Facebook page because I'm not bringing up Brenda's Brushstrokes, but let me see. I think I got to go to search. So hold tight, you guys. We're coming. So now I'm going to try to open it on my tablet. I don't want that because I don't want to hear that. Open it on my tablet. I don't want that because I don't want to hear that. Sorry, guys. Open it on my tablet. I don't want that because I don't want to hear that. Sorry, guys. Open it on my tablet. I got to be able to bring it up on here so I can see your comments, so hold on. Hold on. I got to be able to bring it up on here so I could... Okay, I think I got my voice turned off, so hopefully I can just see the videos now and your comments. So hopefully Courtney post the link on YouTube, Courtney, because I don't know what to do. So on the screen, you can see we have our December box. Let me see if I click on live chat, if the live chat comes up. So it says, yep, okay, so it looks like I got a few people. Got the volume turned off on the tablet, Courtney, so thanks for bearing with us, everybody. So we do have our Mr. and Mrs. Santa, and then we have our tree and base, and that is what we are going to work on tonight. And we actually started it last week by color washing our snowman, or our Santa and Mrs. Santa, and one of them already took a dive off the table. So we have our Mr. and Mrs. Santa, and then we base coated our tree black and our base. So we do have a bunch of new news, and I guess I'll go over that first before we even start, because we do have our December box to reveal. So I will do that quick. So we do have some changes coming up for 2022, so I'm going to set this aside. If you have any questions, you can comment on here, and Courtney and I will try to answer them as we go. But first, so first of all, the subscription box is continuing. And this is your January box. It is the Mako crate, the lid, and then the cardinal topper. So that is your January box. It is not glazed on the inside. If you have access to a kiln, the greenware was fired to 04 bisque, so you could glaze it and then fire it, but otherwise, and I didn't paint it on the inside, but I would probably normally paint it on the inside too and then seal it. So I just wanted you to see that you could glaze it and fire it if you have access to a kiln. But that is the lid. And this is our bird, our cardinal. So our cardinal does have tinsel. It's called tinsel glitter. It's a little different than the snow flurry glitter, but you will be getting that extra in your box. So in the box you will be getting this bottle of Aleene's tacky glue to put the glitter on. And then I actually have this taped up, but you are getting a glitter dispenser. And then this jar will be full of the shredded, or not the shredded, the tinsel glitter. And it is silver, so that's not a color that's been available before, and in this tinsel glitter, so you will get the whole container of that, and then this nice little shaker as well. And then I'm thinking we're gonna tape it shut so that the glitter doesn't get all over. But the nice thing about this is you can sprinkle it and then it gets like right where you want it and not all over the place. But it's called a tinsel glitter, and it is a little different than the snow flurry glitter that you guys were using. That Clay Magic used the white stuff, but this is silver to go with the red bird. And so then you'll get the glue as well, and the glitter and the shaker bottle. So that is the box for January. You still get your inventory sheet, your instructions sheet. Everything is the same as far as that goes. So then I'll set that aside. I guess I can let it sit here while we look. So we have a couple of kind of a big announcement. Courtney is going to be stepping down and going back to her previous business that she had. So she will be doing that, although she will be. So let's see just make sure we got any questions going on. So yes, this is a pretty good size crate, and then the topper as well. So this topper also fits in, just to go back quick, fits in the Mako truck. And then for February, we are going to have another Mako container and another lid that will also fit in this crate, and that one will fit in this one. And then we do have all the other Mako toppers and the truck and the market cart, so you guys will be able to add those to your boxes too. But all of that is changing how we're doing that, so we'll just go over that really quickly. So again, Courtney is stepping down as of the 1st and going back to running her own business now that she has mine off the ground and running. And as you guys know, we've tried a few different ways to offer different bisque and things in your boxes, your brushes. The paint, she tried to do it online with the web store, and that's very, very time consuming. And I'm not very good with the web store. So I guess I'll just start at the top. I do have a paper I can read off of that Courtney kind of created for me. So what's going to be the same is we're still a monthly subscription box. That's not changing. The invoices are still going to go out on the 1st of the month, and you will still have till midnight of the 4th to pay. I will be shipping them from the 5th to the 10th of each month. You'll be able to preview the box contents before you are invoiced, so you can cancel if you want to. So now here's the big news. So what's changing? So our weekly videos will only be available to paid subscribers, and we are going to go back to Facebook because a lot of you have requested that we go back to Facebook. So that will be for beginning with our January box, which should be on January 12th if the weather cooperates and all that good stuff. There will be so if you are a subscriber, you're automatically going to get your invoice just like you always did in the past. The thing is where I have to top out how many boxes I can do, and we will only have subscribers. We will have no more one-time box purchases. So if you are not a subscriber, you may want to subscribe because we're actually going to close the subscription as of January 1st. And I will have a seasonal or quarterly open enrollment if we have people that drop off and aren't coming back to the subscription. So if you get the January, so for example, if you get the January box and you decide in February you don't want the box, you will no longer be a subscriber, and you would have to wait until the open enrollment period again, which will probably be April, would be for the April box. And then I'll be doing like a videos that week, live videos for open enrollment to let you know we have open enrollment and you can join. So that's kind of how that's going to work. And then once January gets here, we will be creating a private group on the Facebook page, just like we have the Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque box group. We will have I don't know if it might be called the same or something, but we'll let you guys everyone know everything. But then you'll get like an invite to that private group where on Thursday nights we'll do the same time and everything. It's only if you are a subscriber, though, that you will be able to watch the live videos on Thursday night. So that's how that's going to change. Then for the add-ons and Bisque supplies, we're going to transition back off of the web page, and we are going to have a live show where kind of a live show and sell where you can add extra Bisque to your boxes, and that will probably be the third Thursday of each month. And it could be extra stuff that goes with, say like this crate, there are extra toppers that go with this. So I'm going to try to get some, I have them poured. I was going to do it in February, but I'm going to try to do it for January for next Thursday. So next Thursday we will have a live add it to your box show starting at 5 p.m. and we'll get a calendar so you guys will know when that's all coming. And it will only be for Bisque boxers. You'll be able to add paints and brushes. And you'll have to go back to messaging us on Facebook, and then I will take care of those messages. And then I will add them to your invoice when we invoice you on the 1st. So that's kind of the big change with that. So there'll still be brushes, there'll still be the paint, you'll still have the paint list like always. It's just that I have to take the extra Bisque off the website because I'm not good with the website, and Courtney just put in hours and hours on there, and we just can't do that anymore. So we'll be having a monthly live sale, and we will have extra Bisque to go with your boxes, and you'll have your paint list and brushes, and it's still going to be a fun time. And Courtney's actually going to be helping with that. So she's still going to be around helping. So the next big thing is that for 2021, as everyone knows, it's been a terrible year for everyone, businesses, workers. And over the last year, we have absorbed all the price increases of everything, and we haven't increased the cost of the box. However, and we were hoping that the pandemic would get over and prices would go back to normal, but unfortunately that hasn't happened. And on top of the pandemic, slip is a problem. As hopefully most of you know that the talc mine that's in Texas is only being used by the company that owns it, and any other business that was getting talc from there has to come up with talc from somewhere else or make talcless slip. If you're getting someone with slip, there's a couple choices. One is from China, which is white slip. The people I've talked to don't want to wait for that to come in on the ships because of the pandemic and the backlog and all that. The other choice is you can get it from the mine in Montana, and then the slip will have a yellow hue to it, and you would need to put white underglaze or white glaze on your pieces. So for us, the guy I get our slip from, he has gone to a talcless recipe. But the bad news with that is that there is a 30% increase on that. Freight has gone up 40%, our bubble wrap, cardboard, just everything has gone up when we've absorbed it for the last year. And for us to keep going, unfortunately, we can't keep absorbing it. So even though things have gone up 30 and 40%, we have decided to keep being able to bring the boxes to you guys without us having to go bankrupt and close. We need to raise the price, and we really wish we didn't have to. So we do have to go to $59.99 the beginning of January. We appreciate all you guys that have been with us since we started. We understand if you can't afford that. It's a hard time right now in our economy and in our world, and we certainly hope you guys enjoy your boxes and the bisque. Our bisque is top quality bisque. It's cleaned, and the detail is put back in. You don't get pieces with pinholes and air holes. The molds are not worn out. The molds for the boxes are bought new just for the boxes. The bisque for the boxes is actually not available at the classroom until the boxes sell out. And no one can buy the bisque from the boxes until the boxes do sell out. So we're hoping by making it a private group that just gives more value to the box, and we want to cater more to the subscribers that get extra bisque, because I haven't been able to even pour enough bisque for everyone. So we just hope we can provide better service to you guys and more pieces. Keep that top quality. That's like the most important thing. Like I can tell you, if I look at someone's piece on bisque on Facebook, you could give me 10 pictures and I can tell you which piece I cleaned out of those 10 pictures. And most people could probably pick out our bisque from other bisque as well, just because that's just prime of importance. And I can tell you that Courtney has actually made me a better bisque cleaner, because she has been so strict with her inspecting our stuff. So I'm grateful for her to that. I'm grateful for all the help she has given me in getting this business going, and all the time and hours. It's been endless hours and it's exhausting. And she just needs to do her own thing, and she did it before and she'll be great at it, and it'll make for it'll just make it good, and she'll still always be here for us and you guys. So along with that, we're sorry we have to increase the price, but we do to keep going. It's just, the slip is just a problem, and the shipping is a problem. The prices have just gone up so much in the last year. It's unbelievable. Even the price of the molds have gone up. Just everything's gone up, and you guys know how it is because you go grocery shopping and getting gas every day. You know what it's about too. But we will keep our top quality products. That's not going to change. Courtney and I have been part of creating this whole thing, and we're going to keep it going just the way it is. You may notice some slower times as far as getting back to you on messages. So I will ask that you message me on Facebook, just like you messaged her before. But I do have open shop hours on Tuesday and Saturday, so I will not get to those messages until later that day, those days, or even the next day. But I'll certainly get back to you. I won't let you hanging. If you have any questions or concerns, please message us, and we'll do the best that we can. I have some great ladies that are helping me as well, and I couldn't keep doing this without them. But I cannot tell you how much time Courtney has put into this to make this work for me, and I'm beyond grateful for her. So that's kind of the good news and the bad news for the year. The good news is we can keep doing the box. We'll keep doing the lives. It's just that it's going to be a private group. I have to limit the amount of boxes. No more one-time boxes, just for inventory and shipping and all that stuff. So if you decide to skip a box, you will actually be taken off the subscriber list until the next open enrollment would open up, which will be quarterly. I think I have it written down as January, April, July, and October. And if we're full, we may not even be able to do it that often, but hopefully we will be able to. So we'll see. But like I said, I'm still going to be here. Nothing's changed. The quality is going to stay the same great quality that it is. We'll invoice you on the 1st, just like before. You have till the 4th to pay. We'll ship on the 5th and 10th. Courtney's going to help, I know for sure, in January, and we'll see how it goes for February, but she'll be helping with the shipping and packing. I actually did packing last month, as you guys seen with the picture that Courtney posted. So I hope you guys are enjoying our boxes. I hope you continue to enjoy the boxes. We put a lot of work in. Our heart literally goes into these boxes. They're just not something bought from China and thrown in the boxes and wrapped up and sent out. We put a lot of work into them. I think that's about it. So I guess with that, hopefully you guys understand. If you need to drop your subscription, please just send us a message and we'll take care of that too. But I guess in the meantime, we will get back to our box. I've had to learn how to do instructions, and we've been working on that with the computer. So I don't want the moose one, I want to get to our Christmas tree one. So again, if you guys have any questions, you can message us, and I hope you guys hang with us. I hope the price isn't terrible, because we're still absorbing some of the costs. We just went to 20%, even though stuff went up 30 and 40%. But these are our instructions for our current box, and you guys will have the same thing for your next boxes. Nothing's changed about that. Courtney has shown me how to do that. So we'll just continue on trucking, and we're going to make this work, and we will start tonight with our box. So the other thing is, next Thursday at 5 p.m., we're going to be having a live sale of bisques that you can add to your boxes, and Courtney we'll be posting some of that stuff in the current bisque box until we get the new private group started. But that will only be for the bisque box subscribers, just because I can't do, I'm only one person, and I can only get so much poured and cleaned and fired, and even with helpers. But we're going to make it work, and so let's have a great Merry Christmas and a great Happy New Year, and let's start with our box for tonight so we can get going, because we got almost half an hour wasted already. So I hope you guys aren't too disappointed, but we're going to keep going, and we're still going to be here. It's been 2.5 years, and I hope to be here till I'm 65 at least. So that's another 5 years, so that's all good news, right? So we have our pieces, and I think we'll start with our tree. So our tree, we had already base coated our black, and then we have our base. So we base coated it black. So now number 2 is to dry brush the tree with accent green. So I have my SS57 accent green, which is a water-based acrylic stain or acrylic paint. It all depends on the company. Some companies call it stain, some call it paint. So you always want to give your paint a good shake. And we're going to put some of our stain out there. And now this is a pretty good size piece, so we don't want to go with a little bitty dry brush. So I'm going to go with something a little bigger, and it looks like this size 8 here already has green in it from some point. So I'm going to grab the green and some paper towel. I like to use paper towel. So we do have a boar bristle brush, which is a natural brush, which is what you want to use for dry brushing. And I go into my green and get a little bit, and then I just brush it out back and forth on my paper towel here. And now when I look at my pieces, so I do have a couple of fleas here I need to take care of first. So these fleas are white spots that happen to pop up after you've painted, you're base coated. And you don't want them, because once we get the green on there, they're going to stick out like a sore thumb in the forest. So I'm just going to take some of my black and one of my nylon brushes here. Dip that in the water to condition it. And then I'm going to go into my black and just touch up any little white flea areas that I see. So he's been sitting here since last week when we worked on it. So another change is that I am going to be recording from my house instead of Courtney's house. So that's, you guys may have noticed we switched that like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, or last week we started recording at my house. So that's what that is about. Okay, so now I look at my tree, and I got divots or creases or crevices in my tree going up and down. So when you're dry brushing, you want to brush across any crevices or recesses. So we are going to brush back and forth. And I like to start on one side, usually the back side, and then work my way around the front. That way, if I get too much paint in my brush to start out with, it's I haven't messed up the front, especially if it's a face or something. And then I'm just brushing back and forth. If it's really wet and shiny, you have too much paint in your brush for dry brushing. So you want to brush that out a little more. Then back with the boxes. If you're doing local pickup, you will still get that the shipping discount that we gave you, and then the local pickup, instead of the $40 plus tax, it'll be the $50 plus tax. And I don't know exactly what the tax is. We'd have to figure that out. They were $42 if you picked them up. So it'll be 50 plus tax if you're picking them up locally, and you can do that as well. You guys can continue to do that. So just if you guys have questions as we go, just send us messages, and we'll work through everything, and things will be as good as they were before. But we're certainly going to miss Courtney more than she probably really realizes. But she's been tremendous in getting this business going for me, and absolutely cannot thank her enough. So if you have messages or if you have questions, just let us know. Don't wonder and worry. We'll take care of you just like we did before. So again, I'm just dry brushing back and forth on my tree with the accent green. I just kind of go from top to bottom, from the back to the front. Let's see, we got a question from Gail. Will you be able to help with the video each week? I'm probably going to be trying to do that myself, Gail. It should be okay. I have the tablet here in front of me. I just need to remember to look at you guys' questions. If I do miss questions during the live, I will either go back through the video that night, or for sure the next morning, and then go back and put in any comments that I need to. If you had a question and it got missed during the live, because I do tend to get painting and talking and forget to look at the tablet questions. If I miss one and like completely miss it even the next day, you could always send a message to me, and I'll for sure get it that way. Sometimes stuff gets lost in those feeds on those videos, but I do like to rewatch the video the next day, so that I can learn to be a better storyteller and how to paint the pieces. I don't want to just sit here and paint and you watch me paint. I try to tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing and what the result is. So if you comment on them, I like to go back and listen to the video and watch the comments. So you may not get, if I do miss it during the live, I will go back and watch probably the next morning, and then definitely reply then, or you could always message me too. So now I've made it all the way around, but now when I look, I can still see a lot of black in my crevices, and I really only want about 10% of the black showing, because it's just going to be some shading. It's really not a lot of the color to the tree, it's more of the shading to it. And I'm just going to move my cart here so I can get a little closer to the camera. Maybe hold it up here a little bit closer. So we have green, but we still have a lot of black down in those crevices. So I'm just going to work my way around again. So by working my way around, this backside has dried now, and it'll start taking the paint. It'll take the paint really nice again, instead of trying to do one area all at one time, and then it gets too wet, and then it can tend to get a hot spot in it, or it'll start smearing. So hopefully that makes sense. So I'm just going to check the questions here. So let's see. So it looks like Bridget is asking, will you be getting your slip from? We're going to continue to get our slip from the same company we've got it from in the past. It will be from Evans Ceramics. It will be all U.S. minerals and supply soda ash, and I guess what's the other thing? The sodium silicate that goes in it. I will be mixing it myself. I just get the dry supplies from them. I have talked to Don several times. He's very confident that the slip is where it needs to be. They are working on a few things with a few of the glazes yet. That's where the biggest problem is. But as far as our acrylics, it needs to be fired to cone 03, which I will do. And we will have white bisque. The color of our bisque is going to continue to be white. It will be fired to cone 03. There should not be any problems. If anyone ever has any problems with anything, whether it's bisque or paint, please just message me, and we take care of it, rather than going in another group and posting it like, oh, I got this problem, and let me know that you have the problem first, because I take care of my customers. So and you guys all know that we've taken care of you in the last 2.5 years. So the slip is a problem really United States wide, because the company in Texas that owns the talc is a tile manufacturer. So anything, and they're only using it for their business. They're not selling it to any other businesses. So anything that's made with ceramic is going to have this problem. It's not just the ceramic craft industry. It's going to be the ceramic dishes. It's going to be anything that's got ceramic in it. So you're going to probably notice a lot of price increases on anything from dishes and cups and glasses to. I was just thinking the other day, like the ceramic briquettes are in your grills. Like all of that stuff is going to be affected by this talc situation. So it's not just our business, the crafting ceramics world. It's anything in ceramic overall. So but we have to be patient and let the manufacturers of the paints and the slip get their testing in and get their formulas tweaked, and they'll get it. They've done it in the past, and we'll be fine just like everyone else. There's a couple things with the new talcless slip, and one of them is that the bisque is a little bit, it doesn't shrink as much as the previous stuff. So if you have a truck insert, or you have a truck and you bought it from one person and they use the old slip, and now you go and buy a truck insert from a new person and they're using the talcless slip, that those truck inserts are not going to shrink as much as the truck shrunk, so they're probably not going to fit. So you're going to need to be careful of who you're buying what from, so that those pieces fit. Anything that has pieces, lids and tops and bottoms, that fit into each other, the old stuff's not going to match with the new stuff. So be aware who you're buying from and what you're getting. I'm actually saving some of my slip with the talc in it, so that my trucks and lids and things that have parts to them will fit with each other because of that. So that's it's just a worldwide thing, and there's not, or a United States wide thing, and there's not much we can do other than work with it. So let's see. It looks like we got a couple questions. So Jen says, how much to be a subscriber? So it looks like Courtney got that. It's $59.99. And then Bonnie says, will you automatically get the box? So will we automatically be able to get to the online class on Thursday if you are a box subscriber? Yes, you will. Only the box subscribers will be able to do the online Thursday night class. Courtney's going to be creating a private group for that, and she'll keep us posted on how I think she's just going to have to send out a message. I don't know if it's on Facebook, which I'm guessing it is, or if it'll be through Messenger, probably through Messenger, and you will just join that group. Anytime you're having any problem, though, you can message us and we'll get it straightened out. Courtney's going to help with all that. Like, she's not abandoning us. She's helping us get everybody straightened out and getting me straightened out. And it's just we're going to go to the private group because you guys are paying a lot of money for these boxes, and there's value to them. And it's just going to be part of you'll have your own private class, so to speak, on Thursday night, anyone that is a subscriber to the box. So I think that should be good too. A lot of craft businesses do that. I belong to a couple of them. One was the Shattered Art. It was a glass lady. And then there's another one, a door hanger, Southern Door Hangers, I think it's called. A lot of groups and a lot of the woodworkers do that closed group thing right here on Facebook. We don't have enough followers on YouTube to do it at this time. YouTube has different rules than Facebook does. And then a lot of you said message that you did want us to come back to Facebook. You liked it better, so we hoping that just works better. But if you have any problems, just let us know. So Jean says, I thought it was something that we had to pay. Nope, you don't have to pay Facebook anything. It will just be part of your subscription, and it will just be a private group that we are going to create, and we will let people in only if they're a subscriber. So I will be able to control who is in the group. So like, I don't know, like a month ago, we had this gentleman in this group that was kind of stalking some of our members. So like those types of people won't be in that group anymore. It'll just be people that purchase the box, the subscription. You won't be paying Facebook anything. You won't be paying anything extra. It's just part of your subscription. It's just that it's called a private group. It'll work just like it is in the past on Facebook. It's just that it won't be an open group. It'll be a closed group. So hopefully that makes sense. I hope I didn't mislead anybody anyway. But it'll just be, instead of an open group, a private group, just like the group we had before on Facebook before we tried going to YouTube. We'll send out a new thing to join it, and you'll just join that group. We'll probably rename this group. Let's see, will the old videos be available to everyone? Courtney and I talked to that about a little bit today. And I forget, I think they're going to be available to everyone that is subscribing. All the old videos will be available to anyone that's subscribing. Oh, so Courtney just answered for you guys. So where you see Brenda's brushstrokes and bits, that's Courtney answering. So she's going to let them where they're at. And they'll be public, so that's fine. So now I'm gonna, looks like we got that question taken care of. So now looking at my tree, I have my under branches, so you wanna make sure you get the underside of those branches a little bit too. So now I'm gonna go back and do that just to get a little bit more on them so they're not too black. Same thing with doing your bottom here, you wanna do that bottom. I'm sure after I talk to Courtney, we can post some information in the BISBox group. I think we're going to be just renaming this group and still keeping it public, that group. And then we'll just have a new BISBox subscriber group. So say you get the January box, you'll get an invite to that private group. And then it'll be just like normal on Thursday night. We'll go in there and just the subscribers will be able to watch. Won't be anybody else. Forgot where I was going with that. So we'll probably rename that group. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet, but. And then when I have the open enrollment, say it would have been, like we're full now for January, unless all of you guys drop off on us. When that open enrollment is, I'll be doing some little videos that week, live shows. So those will be free, little freebie things. So there'll still be some freebie things out there for everybody too. Like, I'm not trying to cut everybody off. I'm just trying to manage things better as far as ordering and all that, and without having Courtney's help. But we'll still have some free things, and probably our little like we had our little Halloween party and all that kind of stuff. None of that stuff's going away. It's all still going to be here. We're just gonna have to try to manage without Courtney, and we can do it. I've made up my mind that we can do it, and we're gonna do it. So let's see. Looks like we had a question. Looks like Courtney took it. So looks like Courtney took care of that. So but if you guys have questions, just let us know, especially if you're a subscriber and you want to continue. If you're not a subscriber, like I still want to help people to learn how to do things. So it won't be probably a set thing, but every once in a while, maybe if I have a little free time, I'll maybe pop on and we'll dry brush something or do some little techniques or whatever, but it won't be as much as every Thursday, because every Thursday is going to be the private Facebook group instead of an open group. So really, that's really all that's changing. It's really not that big of a deal. We'll keep doing our preview of our box like the third Thursday of the month, and that's kind of when we will have the Facebook show and sale that you can add stuff to your boxes. So now I kind of have my tree with my green. I only have a little bit of black down in my crevices. So now if I go to my instructions that come with your box, we're going to go to medium green and then a touch of lime burst. So let me get some medium green, which I don't think I grabbed out of my thing here. So I have our medium green, which is OS 463, and we're going to shake that up. So we're going to get a little bit of medium green, and we're going to flip our paper towel over, and I'm going to continue with my same dirty brush with the green in it, because it just will help me get a nice gradual change of my green. And now again, I'm going to start probably what I would think would be the back. So let's see. I just wanted to see, we got a few comments going on. So let's see. So there's the old videos will still be on YouTube. The older videos that we've had up until this point, I think Courtney just posted she's going to let those public. So let's see what else. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Bonnie. So thank you, everyone. Can't tell you how much that means, and we're just going to keep on trucking, and we're going to keep on going. And so now I do have that medium green in my brush, and again I'm going to brush back and forth. It's because I'm going across those textures and crevices. I don't want to go with them. If I go with them, that's going to fill them in, and we'll lose our black shading. So if you go and you brush and there's a lot of paint, like it seems too much, you can brush your brush out again. You can see the medium green goes on a lot faster now than the accent green did, because we have that nice base on there. So we'll keep going, brushing back and forth. And who knows what's going to come next year yet. We don't know. I've wanted to make videos of like the mosaicing and different things, and haven't had time to it. So maybe Courtney will have time to edit that stuff, and I'll have time to do it, and maybe we'll be able to offer you guys more stuff in the end. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, and we'll work with it. And but for now, the boxes are staying the same. You get your invoice on the 1st, pay by the 4th, and we ship on the 5th through the 10th. And unfortunately, the price had to go up. But to be able to continue to do it, we have to raise the price just because of shipping, and you can't just tell you how much everything has gone up. It's so crazy. But you guys know that with the price of going to the store and buying anything, it's just ridiculous. If things change and things go back down, we'll certainly consider lowering the price if we're able to. But for now, to be able to order slip and pay the bills and get the molds, like we have to raise it. So that's the bad thing with the pandemic here going on, and unfortunately they don't think that there's an end to it, because there can be different versions of it all the time, and until there's some kind of a cure, which I don't see that happening soon with a virus, that's just not going to happen. So we'll ride it out just like everyone else is, and keep coming on Thursday night with the private live group, and we're going to keep painting and offering our great stuff and the great quality and hopefully great education. And so you can see I've worked my way around my tree, and he's looking pretty good, but when I come to look at it, it's maybe a lot more green here and less green over here, so you don't want it splotchy like that. You want to even it out more, so now I'm going to make another coat, just do another coat around it. So let's see, what else do we have? Trying to make sure I'm watching the things. So it looks like Courtney's answering a few questions. So Jen asked if we have any retreats in the spring and summer. At this time, I do not, but I've certainly thought about it. I know I have a gentleman that I've mentored actually through Messenger. He's in South Carolina or North Carolina. Learned him how to pour through Messenger, and now actually fire his kiln. And he's coming to one of Michael Harbridge's seminars in his retreat in the spring, and he's actually going to stop and spend the day with us, and we're going to do a class. He wants to do a class, so he's going to spend a day either before or after Michael's retreat and come to my classroom and spend a day learning things there too. But he's actually learned how to pour and clean and fire just over through Messenger with pictures and things. So like I do try to help anybody as much as I can. the only way this craft is going to keep going, because I'm one of, like for me, I'm one of the older people out there that have been doing it for ages, and there's others ones. And we kind of had a few years where people dropped off, and we've lost all the shops and those educated people that could help the new people learn, and there are few people left out there, and so the ones of us that know this craft, we have to keep trucking and keep spreading how to do it, and of course there's always different ways, and everybody has their own way and different ways. There's nothing wrong with that. So you just have to do what's best for you and what works best for you, and paint the colors that you like, and do what works for you, what makes you happy. I can't tell you all the messages we get regularly of how we help people with their mental health and help them get out of bed and make it through the day, and that's really what this is all about. It's not about the money. If it was about the money, we'd be charging $79 a box. We just try to make a little bit to pay the bills, and buy your guys' supplies for the things that go in your boxes, and buy the new molds and the slip and all that good stuff. We're not trying to get rich, just pay the bills and keep it going. And talking about that, so last year we were going to get you guys the spatter tool as one of the extra tools in your boxes, and then the company that made them quit making them. But this week I actually, by accident, came across a company that is having them made again, and so I have them on order. They have to be made, but we're hoping to have them in time for your May or June box. So one of the tools, usually from January through February or January through June, we do tools in the boxes. So that's why you're getting the little shaker thing. I don't know where I put it. That's why you're getting the shaker, so you can see how great the little salt shakers work for glitter. So that's your tool for January. So your tool for either May or June, depending upon when they get in, will be this splatter tool to make things have splattered paint on them. So they're ordered, and they're going to make them, and so that was actually really exciting that I could get those for you guys, because we wanted them last year, and then the company quit making them, but now another company's making them. So that will be one of your tools, because we usually do tools from January through June, and then brushes, extra brush from July through December. So, and I actually have an idea on the brushes that I'm going to actually talk to Courtney about it yet, but hopefully I can swing it, and we can do something that's really going to be great that I think you guys will really love. So let's see, we got any question going on here? So it looks like some of you guys want to come and visit. Well, you guys can come and visit. If you have a camper, you can even park it out there and come in and paint and all that good stuff, because it's a place out in the country. So let's see, the silver tinsel. Yeah, the silver tinsel glitter is pretty cool. It was came across that kind of by accident too. So now I have my medium green on here, and I still can see my accent green and then my black, so that's a nice coverage of that. So from that, I'm going to go to my lime burst, which is SS376 lime burst. So I'm going to give that a shake. I do, as of now, I do plan on going to the August ceramic show that we have in Waukesha. Michael Harbridge is in charge of that now, so I don't know if there are changes to the date or anything. But I think we are going to get a booth there, and maybe have some little dry brushing or make and take classes. That's what we've been talking about. So I'm back to my lime burst OS463, but that would be at Waukesha, which is down by the southern Wisconsin, and it's usually in August. So that might be something you guys could do too, to come and visit us there and take some classes, take a class of make and take, or not sure exactly what we're going to do there yet, but because things have kind of changed with Courtney leaving, so we'll see what we actually do. So let's see. Oh, I'm glad we could help you, Jen. Sorry about your mom passing. So let's see what else we got. So Looks like Courtney's got all your questions under control there. So the nice part about this, actually, by me doing it here, I'm saving 8 hours a month just in travel time too. And then driving in the winter with the ugly weather isn't always so fun either. So I have my line burst, and I used my same dirty brush, grabbed a little bit, brushed it on my paper towel so it's nice and light. And now I just want to do my tips of my branches. I don't want to do the whole branch, but I'm just going to do the tips and then the very top of the tree. Like that's kind of new growth on the tree, or like the light is really shining on there. And you don't do it real, so it's real obvious, but it's just a little highlight, and it just kind of brings a little bit of life to the tips of those trees. So I had another color combination I used here a week ago. I went from the accent green to the Christmas green to the bright green, and that makes a really pretty Christmas tree too, if anyone's looking for another acrylic color combination for a Christmas tree. That's the accent green to the Christmas green to the bright green, and I would have never guessed that, but I didn't have a color one of the days, and so that was the colors that I used, and actually I even like it better than this combination. So that's the accent green, the Christmas green, and then the bright green. Makes a really pretty green Christmas tree too. So I just keep going back and grabbing that little bit of lime burst. You can see I'm just putting it on the tips of these little branches here. Just brush back and forth a couple times. You don't want it so it's like stark green or stark lime burst on the end. You just want it nice and light. And then I'm just working my way up to the top and working my way around and just going on the tips of all of those little branches. Get a little more. And now I'm actually going to do the whole top up here, just because the light would be shining on there, and that would be a little bit brighter, the whole top of that tree. So there we have our nice little Christmas tree, and he's pretty easy to do. And then I just want to look at it and make sure it looks kind of nice and even. And he's looking pretty even. All right, so we have our little tree done. So our next thing would be to... See, I'm looking at Santa, and I need to look at... I lost my tree here. Where'd my tree go? Oh, it looks like it went across the thing. So I don't have my instructions because I think it took a ride. So we can paint our rust on our base, which is our OS 454 in rust. And we will put that on our foil. And then I'm going to grab a nylon brush. And you guys got those in your boxes, so you can grab one of those bigger ones. This is a size 8. I'm going to dip it in my water and pat it out of my paper towel. That conditions your brush so that the bristles aren't dry on the inside and the paint doesn't dry and get all hard in there. It just helps condition that brush. Makes it easier for cleaning. So now I'm going to take my rust and just brush back and forth. Where my red would be, you don't have to be real careful where the green is going, because the green we'll line that out with the green. I do like to use rust under any red, any shade of rust. Terracotta works, rust works. It just dulls down the white so that the red covers better. We just had that at the classroom. Someone was doing real red, and I forget what she put it on. Oh, some little Santa boots, and it was taking her like 6 coats of it. But she didn't do the rust first, so that's why it also looks like I got a drop of paint on here. I'm going to try to scratch off. You could also take sandpaper if you ever have that happen to you, and just sand it off with a little fine sandpaper. Sometimes the paint gets to flying around here. So we're just getting a nice coat of rust on here. And a lot of people will ask, well, is that enough? So the next question is, I usually look at the piece, and anytime you can see through your rust and kind of see white, like here I can see white. Try to bring it up closer so you can still see the white through the rust in a few spots. So you don't want that. You want a nice even coat of rust. So I kind of go back to where I started and put a second coat on. Because if I put my red over that rust where the white is kind of showing through, my red is going to also have that spot on it. So you do want a nice even coverage of your rust, so you can see there's white showing through my rust here. So I do want to get that extra coat on there so that it's nice and even coverage. That even coverage is really important for your base coat, because if it's blotchy or spotty and places of or areas where there's white showing through your rust, when you put your red on it, the red is going to cover just like that. You're going to have those spots where it's going to be lighter and you're not going to like it. So you do want that nice even coat of rust or base coat. Even if you're base coating something, the same thing would be with your base coating. If you're base coating black on something, you want that nice even coat. You don't want white coming through your black either, because then your next colors are going to be patchy just like that black is. So now when I look at this, I don't see any rust coming through my white coming through my rust except right there. So I'm going to give another little brush there. So now it looks really good. I can wash out that brush. I brushed back and forth in my water, dab it on my paper towel. Then the next thing we're going to do is go with Real Red, which is Duncan OS 438. So let's see, Kathleen says she used to brush really heavy. Yep, you don't have to brush heavy, and it doesn't take much paint either. A lot of people would really dip in there and really get a lot of paint, and then you just brush it out on your paper towel and you're just wasting it. So it's better to take a few lighter, I just go on the edge and get it. But now we're actually painting something. So we're using a nylon brush for that. You want to switch to a nylon brush when you're painting. The boar bristle brushes are more for the base coating, or for dry brushing, I'm sorry. So when you're base coating or painting something, you do want more paint in your brush. So you can see I dip in there and get lots of nice paint. And then I brush back and forth and brush that out, kind of like you're painting a fence. So there are no rivers or puddles of paint. Is kind of nice and smooth. And then as that dries, because there's like a self-leveler in the paint, it will almost dry without brush strokes even in it, as long as you have it brushed out really nice. So another thing is when people are glazing, you don't want to do all this brushing when you're glazing. You want to go in your paint, and we'll just imagine this was glaze on there, and you would just kind of put it on there and leave it so it's more of a flowing coat. Instead of brushing it out, because if you brush it out like we need to with the acrylics, like I am now, your glaze will be too thin and you'll have white areas coming through your glaze. So you want more of a flowing coat where we're kind of brushing back and forth, getting it nice and smooth, so you can see now there's no big puddles or ridges of paint on there. So that's different from glazing. You wouldn't glaze like this. This is more for painting or base coating. So now I made it all the way around. It's drying, but I can see I have rust coming through my red. So I want to get a little more rust, or a little more Real Red, I'm sorry. So let's see what else. Kim says she used to paint too heavy too, so the ceramic paints do paint better. You can paint with the box store paints. I'm not going to say you can't, because I've painted with them. I've had to do Minnesota Viking colors, and there's no purple in the ceramic line that matches that. But I can tell you it's a lot more frustrating. It takes a lot more coats. The ceramic paints do have a lot more pigment in them, so you will find that they're easier to paint with. You'll get better coverage. So even though you're painting, or paying a little more for them, you're using less paint because it covers better. And people that are dry brushing have found, they just know that it's less frustrating. My sister, who's not a painter, actually base coated something with me, for me with a store brand of paint, and even though she's not a painter, like, oh, this is crappy paint, this isn't covering, and as soon as she painted with the ceramic brands of paint, you could tell right away that it covered much better. So now I'm just looking at my little piece here, and I can see that I don't have any rust coming through my red, and it's nice and even. So I'm going to wash out my brush. Again, pat it on my paper towel, maybe wash it out a couple times because it's red. And then I don't have my instructions, so I don't know if I used bright green or Christmas green, so it doesn't really matter on the base of our, looks like bright green on the base of our tree, so I'll use bright green. You could use silver, you could use gold, you could use whatever you want. I just use the red and green to keep it nice and bright. So I have bright green, OS 464, bright green. We're going to and you want to shake that good. So when you're looking at your paint, now this paint has been sitting, so you can see that hopefully you can see that it's separated on top. So there's a clear liquid on top. You don't want that. You want to put that cap on there and really, really shake that up really well. So we're going to shake this up really good. I probably haven't used it in a while. So now you can see it's a nice even color of green on top. We don't have that liquid floating, but I'm going to shake it just a little bit more. So now we'll get our bright green. And you could paint the whole base. The bright red if you wanted to. It's really, there's no rules to it, you guys. Paint stuff whatever colors you want it. Like, if you don't like red and green, you could paint it blue and silver or whatever. We don't post it down, and it's not written in brick that you have to use the colors that I used. So now I want to look at this. I want to hold this so I can line this out. So I'm going to dip into my green. Normally I kind of hold this on my lap, but I'll kind of hold it up in the air here so you guys can see it. And I just want to line out my green right kind of where you can see where there's a little band around the base. So I'm actually resting this painting hand on my other hand, which isn't the best. Normally I'd probably have it on the table or in my lap. You always want to rest that painting hand so you have a nice steady base. So like got my fourth finger on my piece here, and I kind of got it up in the air, but that's just so you guys can see. I wouldn't normally recommend painting something up in the middle of the air like that. Normally I would have it down kind of more like this so that the piece is nice and steady, and then my hand is balancing on the piece as well. But we'll move it back up here so you can see it. But again, I kind of touching it just to steady that painting hand. And then you can always come back and touch it up too. And I like to draw or drag that brush towards me with those steady lines. So we'll grab some more. So is everybody ready for Christmas? Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. I made one more trip to the store today, and it was terrible. There's people everywhere. I'll be going to church tomorrow night, and then to my sister's, and Courtney will be coming there too, so that's kind of our plans. I'll probably go to my parents on Saturday. Not sure if it'll be at lunchtime or maybe after lunch. I do need to make some fudge yet and some this other snack mix using Crispex and M&Ms. And Courtney don't like peanuts though, so I might have to make 2 batches, one without peanuts in it. It's a new snack mix that I had for it was after my birthday, but it was really good, so I thought I'd make it for Christmas. And if I have time, I might make divinity yet tomorrow. I don't know. We have to see how much moisture is in the air, because that doesn't like to have moisture in the air. And we had snow today, so that kind of didn't. I really didn't have time though either. So I'm just lining out that green. You can see your hand is a little shakier when you're not resting on it. So I'm gonna rest it back on here and draw it towards me. But I wouldn't recommend doing this up in the middle of the air like I have it. I'm just trying to do it so you guys can see it. I actually like to pull it in kind of to my stomach and like steady my arms and do it that way. And you can do it the other way and draw away from you. I just tend to draw it towards me more than drawing it away. So we'll be here next week at 5, and we'll have a bisque show and show and sell, or whatever you want to call it, for the boxers. It won't be on the website. It will be the Thursday Night Live instead. It'll just kind of be like we've done that before. We've had one, I'll show you something and say, well, we have 6 of these, and then as it shows up on the computer, as we see it, we'll take your names and we'll let you know who got it, and then when I invoice on the 1st, and Courtney will be helping me with that, it'll be added to your invoice at that point. So but it's mainly just for your subscribers. We're really catering to you guys to try to meet your needs. So we have quite a few of you that get extra bisque, and I haven't been able to provide a whole lot of extra bisque for everyone. So we're going to try to get that going better. So it looks like I got a gob in my brush in my paint here. So I'm just going to take my ball stylus and stick it in there and see if we can get it unplugged. There we go. So your January box, I can show it to you at the end again tonight, is that Mako crate and the topper, and then the pine topper, and then the cardinal. I should know by next Thursday if you'll be able to add extra cardinals or not, if you want to, because they can just stand alone too. And then your February box will be another Mako insert that goes with that whole set. They have a whole set of them, and we have them all. I'll try to have some of them for next Thursday, and then we'll have more for February. So maybe don't go out buying a bunch from other vendors. And then with the bisque boxes, you will still continue to get your free shipping for your add-on bisque. We haven't changed that at all. So you'll still be able to add bisque on and get free shipping. That's not changing as long as you're the subscriber. So lots of good stuff going on. Lots of great opportunities to get good stuff and good quality bisque. So one of the ladies messaged with an order today. So it was a larger order. So we did take it. We usually don't take single orders, but tried to accommodate anybody that we can usually. So I'm just trying to get another coat of our bright green on here. And we'll kind of let that dry and flip it over here. We do have the Clay Magic Gnomes as well. I have a couple of sets of those, so I didn't want to offer them until February, but if I can get some more poured before Thursday, we may be able to offer those as well. We have the reindeer gnome as well. So we'll see. I'm pouring that stuff. If we have time to get it poured, or cleaned, I should say. I can pour a lot more than I can clean, but and then I do like to use paint my bottoms always. You just want your stuff to look really nice if someone picks it up and looks at the bottom, or if you're helping kids that are in 4-H or Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, you want their bottoms to look really nice too, because the judges usually look at those bottoms. So you can see how nice that looks when you lift it up. So you do want your bottoms always to look really nice on stuff. So now this green's going to take another coat here the way it looks, so we'll see if we can line that up without getting it all over, holding it in the air here. So let's see, do we have any other questions? Oh, I'm not sure what I said, but I meant the Mako. Yep, I did mean the Mako gnomes. We have the 3 Mako gnomes. I have a couple sets poured, and I'll try to get some more poured by next Thursday. There's 3 of them. One's got the hands up in the air, one's waving. I don't know remember what the third one's doing. And then there's the the reindeer gnome too. He's got a little sweater on, and it's a Mako mold also. So we'll kind of have a Mako thing next month. But we also have some of the gnomes that we offered in December. The Rudy, we'll have Rudy, and we'll have a bigger mantle tree. It's a little bit bigger than this one. Well, actually, it's quite a bit bigger. It's probably like 8 inches. I have some of those poured. Let me see, what else do we have? We have those gnome. We have the Hamlet gnome with stars cut out and without stars. I'll have the snow kissing couple. I think there's some Mr. and Mrs. Clauses that Courtney already has wrapped. There's like 6 of the Halloween kissers. So we'll have a nice variety of stuff next Thursday. Stuff you guys can add to your boxes. I've been pouring the Clay Magic. They're called boots, mittens, and socks. There's some cats that are, they're probably like 8 inches tall. And then those the 3 polar bears, I've been pouring those. So we'll have a nice variety of stuff next Thursday for you guys to add. So, and Courtney's going to pick some stuff off the shelves too. So we'll probably have more stuff than we have time, actually. We have the gnome ornament, the gangbuster one, and then we have the smaller one. Some of those have stars in them. There's quite a variety, actually, so I think you guys will be happy with that. I think Courtney has a few of the dry brush sets left yet, and then some of the 4-5-9-5 liners. So we'll do that next Thursday at 5 till 7-ish. We won't start the private group. I think that will be in January, the January 12th show when we switch back to Facebook, just to kind of go back over what's going on. So that'll be, the private Facebook group will be back in January about the 12th, but we'll have messages and posts about it. You'll get, we'll make sure we don't lose you. Trying to think what else. Look for your invoices as usual. If you need to cancel, just send us a message so we don't have to bother you with the invoice if you don't want one. Then Courtney can take you off the list. But we do hope everyone can stay with us, but we certainly understand if you can't, because that's an expense as well, and people got families and kids and budgets and all that good stuff. So you got to take care of the family and stuff first. So. All right, we're getting our bright green on there. That's looking pretty good. Again, I'm doing my bottom so it looks good. I do notice I have a white speck there, so I need to touch up my red the way it looks. So we'll go back to our red, and I'm just going to touch this up a little bit. There are a few angels on the shelf that are poured. I could probably clean those and fire those. We had one of the ladies did a lot of angels at the shop this year, so she kind of cleaned us out a little bit, but we'll see what we can do. We'll get what we can for you guys and make it a fun night next week. All right, so we have our red on here. So that's all there is to that base. I did seal mine with the, I don't remember if it was the satin, the matte. I've usually been using the matte. I'm not real happy with the new satin sealer. The aerosol stuff, so I've been using the matte and the gloss, so that is our base. So then we can go back to our tree now. So when you do your tree, your snow and your glitter, you do want to seal your tree first. So I use the aerosol matte, but I won't do that because I'm in the house here. So I want to look for my palette knife, which you guys did get a palette knife in one of your boxes. So then in your extras, you have a bucket of glitter and a bucket of snow. So we'll get that out. I was thinking about you doing some DIY snow. Actually, your January box was supposed to be your February box, and your February box was supposed to be your January box, but we've been having trouble getting the molds. Actually, been trying to get the Mako molds since September, and they sent a couple, and then they sent a couple, and they were broke, and then they didn't send one, and now I'm still waiting actually on three of those February molds, which was supposed to be your January box, so we had to switch those around. Of making the DIY snow using the Kotex, is that something you guys would be interested in doing? Because we could possibly do that with your February box, because it's still snow related. You can kind of let us know if you'd like that or not. So now I have my tree, and we're just going to make believe that we already sprayed that with the sealer. And actually, I need to go back up one. Before you did the snow, you would want to put your pin lights in. And your pin lights were included in your in your box, and we actually gave you a whole bag of pin lights. So you have plenty of pin lights for your Mr. and Mrs. Santa, and then anyone that got extras. So we can show you how to do those tonight. So I would do that first before the snow. Kind of got ahead of myself, you guys. Sorry about that. So you want to seal your piece and then do your lights. Then I like to use the E6000 glue. Paula says, snow making what? Yep, Kotex. Use the inside of the Kotex. It's the cotton inside there. You cut it apart and you use the cotton that's in there. So maybe we'll do that anyway, because there's some trees on there and then some other little things. I don't want to give it all away. I would include, I wouldn't send you the whole Kotex. I think we would get them and dismantle them, and I would show you how to dismantle them. And then you just cut it apart and peel out the cotton that's in there, and then you pick it into little bitty pieces. So it's just a fun little thing. They did that way back in, oh man, probably the late 80s, early 90s, and then you use paint and you mix it all together and it makes snow. So yep, it's kind of a fun little thing. So we may do that for our February box because we do have snow involved with that one yet. So I have my E6000. I let it come out a little bit, and there's two ways you can do it. You can put it in your hole and then kind of touch the tip of the glue and drag it off, and that will get rid of your little stringers. So we'll do that. And then we just grab our little mini pin lights and stick it in there in the glue. Then I wouldn't put a white one right next to the white one, so I would go to a different color. So I have pink here. So we'll put pink on. So I just, and a lot of times I like to start from the top down. So just put some glue in a bunch of holes. Grab some little lights and poke them in there. And then you do have to kind of go back and make sure they're seated right in case they move around. So now we have a blue one, so I wouldn't put a blue one again, and we have pink right there, so I think I'll go with the purple. Then I just start from my top down again. So just kind of show you guys how to do this so you can get to the snow. And then we'll actually have our tree done. And there is a tea light, which was our gift to you guys. There's a tea light in your box this month, so we have the tea light that goes with the tree. So let's see, so here I have a green one. I grabbed a green one, but I wouldn't put that right next to the green one. I'll skip that one over a little ways. We'll put a purple one. And you should have plenty of tea lights for all, or pin lights for all your stuff, even if you got the extra reindeer and elf. So we'll just put this side in quick. If you have a brand new tube of that, it tends to like really come out. So I usually put it over my foil or some paper, so that the glue that's oozing out isn't getting all over the table. So these are the mini pin lights. They're the same as the small pin lights. The only difference is the length of the stem, and I should have brought some. I could have showed you that the length of the stem is what makes them different. The light size is the same. A lot of people aren't sure on the size of the pin lights. So the mini pin lights have these shorter stems, so like we have a little distance up on top, so that's why we want the shorter stems, especially on our Santas and Mr. and Mrs. Santa. So I'm just scattering all my colors, not putting any same colors next to each other. That's kind of the biggest thing, is you don't want your red next to your red and your blue next to your blue. And then I just push my glue on there and then kind of just wipe it, and that takes care of that little stringer. Otherwise, let your stringers until it's completely dry, and then you can pull them all off if you have stringers. So let's see, I think we need a yellow one here. And we could put a red one up here. So this is kind of the fun part, putting all the little lights in. Can also be a little bit time consuming if you get really anal about the lights and don't want any colors next to each other. So I just kind of scatter them here and there and just make sure they're not real close to each other. So let's see, we need a different one for in there. It looks like I haven't had any purple ones, which is Courtney's favorite color, so let's get a couple of those in there. And we could get an orange one in there. Okay, so I would just go and finish my whole tree. And then I would let that dry. And then I would take my palette knife, or you can take a plastic knife, and dip into your snow, and you kind of want to put it on as though like you're frosting a cake or something like that. So I usually like to put a little bit right on top. And I usually don't spread it out too much. I kind of try to make it look like it's a real snowfall on there. Then we do have our glitter that was in the container here. So now you guys will actually have, if you're getting the January box, you'll have a nice little container to put your glitter in. So I'm just going to sprinkle my glitter over my foil on top of the snow, because you don't want to wait for the snow to dry. You want to get that glitter on there before. So again, I just grab some more of my snow and I kind of just put it on the tips of each branches. You can put a lot, you can put a little. It's really personal preference. You don't have to put snow on it at all if you don't want to. So I just kind of lay it on the edges of the ends of the branches. I try not to get it on my light bulbs too much. It's just really what you want. And then we'll take our glitter again and we'll sprinkle. I kind of keep my tree on its side so I get that glitter all over that snow. So that's all there is to doing the snow part of it. So I can do a little bit more. Let's see, what else we got? Any questions? Looks like Courtney's been taking care of you. Yes, you don't have to use the E6000. It's very permanent. You could use, some people don't use any glue at all, so they can change the lights out. You could use, some people use hot glue. You could use the Elmer's glue, whatever you want. I tend to use the E6000. So again, I put some of that snow on, and I'm going to sprinkle my glitter on again. And you guys will find that that little shaker that you're getting for January works really great for that. I was really happy to come up with that idea. So let's see what else. Beth says she's enjoyed the refresher course, so that's good. And yep, we'll be doing some free videos here and there. It won't be every Thursday, but there'll be some here and there. We'll see what we can do. Don't want to think we've forgotten about everybody, but we're just trying to make this work with the changes that are going on. So we're just going to put some more snow on here. And then you should have plenty of snow for your Mr. and Mrs. Santa and your tree. So again, I'm just putting it on the ends of the branches, and I do that after the lights have been put on. And then we'll sprinkle glitter again. So that is one side of our tree all done, and I don't need to do the other side. You guys got that figured out on how to do that, so I'll kind of hold it up so you can see it a little bit closer. So we have our lights on, and then that snow does take a couple hours to dry, so you would want to set that aside. Otherwise you'll be getting in there like that and you'll make a mess of it. So just set it aside and let it dry for a couple hours. And then your tree can go on your base. And then you also have the tea light. That was our Christmas gift to you guys. It was an extra in the box. So I think we just have to, actually it's a little flickering guy. You can sit that on the top of your base. That's why we didn't put the hole in it. And then your tree should fit right on there. So I don't want to mess with that because it's got the snow on it, but that's how that would work. You just set that on there. these are really popular, the tea lights. A lot of the kids at the craft shows would want a little tree in their room, and this was a good way just to have the tea light and not the whole cord and everything. Made the moms happy that it just felt safer, I guess, to have the little tea light instead of the hot cord and bulb. So next week we will, and then you do want to clean off your palette knife because that tends to dry on there, and it dries pretty quick, so you want to keep that clean. So then next week we will start at 5. We'll have our little sale. Then we'll have our normal live painting at 7 on YouTube again. And we'll be able to start with our Mr. and Mrs. Snowman. Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, not snowmen. So that is those. And then this is what they look like painted. So it looks like we have a question. Clara says, what are good colors of Mako paint to order that use? Duncan doesn't have like the accent green. Looks like Courtney just gave you a list. So if you don't have the accent green by Mako, you could use Doc Holliday's Lexington green. I don't know that there was a real dark Duncan green. I can't think of it right offhand. There's a forest green by Mako too. You could use that. Let's see. If you don't, you could take like the medium green and add a little bit of a drop of black to it, and that would give you a darker shade of the medium green if you don't have the Mako. So you could do that. Take your medium green and add a drop of black to it, and it will darken it up. Yeah, some of the dark colors got, Lexington green is perfect, Clara. That's the color I used to use, but then we couldn't get the Doc Holliday color, so then I switched to the Mako accent green, or the forest green will work too. So that's a nice dark color. I kind of didn't like the rainforest green because it's got a blue hue to it. So let's see. So hopefully that helps you guys. I guess otherwise have a great night. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for joining us all year. Have a great Christmas and Christmas Eve, and we will be with you guys next Thursday. If you have any questions about the stuff we talked about, you can message us. I'm sure we'll put up a couple posts to explain things in case anyone missed it. But basically everything is staying the same. We still have the subscription box. You'll still get invoiced on the 1st. You'll have till the 4th to pay. We'll be coming back to Facebook to a private group for the painting on Thursdays. The price has gone up to $59.99. Local pickup will be $50 plus tax. I think that's really about it. There's not a ton of changes, but kind of some big changes just with the pandemic has affected everybody, and we've tried to absorb the costs for the last year, and we can't keep doing it. So we're doing the best we can, you guys, and we appreciate you, and we wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if you don't join us next week. But otherwise, we'll be here next Thursday as well painting. So have a great weekend, you guys, and see you next week. Good night.